So one of the things I most love doing is finding a wonderful place in nature that I've traveled to and then bringing a bunch of people back to explore it with me and to really dive in and experience the land there. One of the fundamental premises of shamanism is that everything has life and everything has spirit and everything has its own power and energy and essence. And if you know how to do so, you can go into a slightly altered state and be able to get information and talk to that spirit. So you can go talk to the trees and you can go talk to the land guardians and things like that. And one of the most incredible blessings of the modern era is the fact that we have access to transportation in the way that we do. And for me, this looks like an ability to travel to a lot of different places and gather up the medicine and gather up the learning that I can take. So I learn something different when I go and spend time in the mountains of Peru than I do when I go drop down in the desert in the lowest point in the northern hemisphere by going into Death Valley, or when I go spend time among the red rocks of Sedona. The UK has a really different feel than the United States in my experience. There are these ley lines that run through the ground and this network of information that are anchored by these ancient stone circles and sacred wells. It's an amazing feeling, very high vibrational, very clear. I love being over there. And just as much I love being someplace like Yosemite that's just this wellhead of energy where energy just pours out and cascades, so you can't even really define a ley line in Yosemite. There's just so much energy pouring out. And then you can go be in the presence of trees that are almost 3,000 years old and this ancient wisdom. And one of the potent symbols of shamanism is the world tree that connects the three worlds together. And so as you can tell, I have a lot of passion for travel and for being on the land. And I find that this really adds to my wisdom. It adds to my resources as a shamanic practitioner. So sometimes if a client's releasing really big pain, I can connect energetically to a place that I've traveled that can transmute the feeling or the emotion. Or if I need to gather power, there are places that I can find it and bring it to my clients. So these connections to these places are something that really endure for me long beyond the time that I'm actually there having the amazing experience. And I really treasure the sort of scrapbook of my soul experience that I've gotten to travel to so many places and that I have the potential to visit so many more. And I really, really, really love sharing that experience with people. It makes me really happy to take a group of shamanic practitioners someplace like Death Valley where the pupfish are spawning, and the pupfish are these little tiny adorable fish that have survived in some of the most hostile conditions you could possibly imagine. Ridiculous heat, salt water that is so much more salty than what you find in the ocean, and yet these little fish have such a principle of the life force energy that they continue to thrive and adapt to that environment. So as you can imagine, going and seeing those fish and inviting the download is a very powerful way to work. There are a lot of healings, there's a lot of information available. And so I offer retreats. And usually I try to set up the retreat in such a way that I can rent a big house that everyone can share space in, so that we can cook together and we can sleep together and we can laugh together and we can share experiences and talk about what it means to us and really be in that community of space, because not everybody is going to understand or have a reference for saying, wow, the tree told me this message, or I really could see myself clearly in the mirror of this lake and how I cycle energy with others. That's not going to be something that someone has a reference for. So I find it's powerful to spend time in shamanic community with a bunch of other people who have the same intention in their hearts and the same purpose. So my retreats are oriented toward having an amazing experience of getting to connect with land, as well as personal healing journey, of being able to drop in deeper and shed layers and skins that might be harder if you only have an hour or two to come to a class or to do a session. There's something about being able to delve in really deeply. And I'm a big fan of personal comfort, so I usually manage to set my retreats up where we have, indoor plumbing and beds to sleep in at night and cooking facilities and those kind of things. The great thing about being a shamanic practitioner in the modern era is spirit is so accessible to us that we don't have to endure a lot of hardships to be able to connect in. So I'm not going to ask you to sit out on the land in a cave overnight and meditate on things. I think you can get amazing messages during the day and then sleep in a comfy bed at night. And so that's the approach that I take, is let's have a really comfortable, wonderful, enjoyable time. When I lead retreats, I do a lot of getting out on the land, so there's a lot of experience of connecting with the earth as well as some very powerful healing circles that come together where we have the opportunity to share and really delve in deep. I lead guided journeys, and a lot of it is spirit guided, so the pulse of the group and what's appropriate and what arises dictates a lot of where we go and how we flow and these kind of things. So I hope you'll consider coming on retreat with me. I've taken people to Hawaii, to Peru, to Sedona, to Death Valley, to Ireland, and to the UK. And I hope to continue to take people more places. Also, if you're interested in hosting a retreat, if you have a wonderful place that I can go, let me know, because I'm very amenable to travel. I love doing it, and I'd be honored to share in this deeper way with you.